King Charles III will officially be crowned the King of the United Kingdom tomorrow after serving as the longest heir apparent in the country's history. Charles' wife Camilla will also be officially crowned Queen Camilla at the ceremony. It is scheduled to start at 5 a.m. Eastern when Charles begins the procession from Buckingham Palace to Westminster Abbey in London. Joining us now, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan.
Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being with us. Of course, we know this only happens every 70 years or so these days. But let's talk about something even more important than the coronation tomorrow. That is the fact that Liverpool has 5 wins under their belt. Manchester United lost yesterday. Liverpool won the day before. I mean, we are on a run. Can we make the top 4?
Well, Mika, apologies. Joe and I have got to talk about something really important, which is the team that both Joe and I love have had an awful season, and we've won 5 in a row. Saturday's important home game against Brentford, so of course I'll be at the coronation, but I'll be a bit distracted, Joe, because if we win again tomorrow, that's 6 games on the trot. And don't forget Brighton, as you're right, Brighton beat Man United, so you can sort of your grasp, the grasp is there. The question is the reach there? So 6 games to go. Let's see.
Yeah, we shall see.
Stay focused. Stay focused.
It'll be absolutely fascinating.
Coronation.
So you know, Mr. Mayor, Mika and I were over. Thank you. By the way, we just showed the tables there with Liverpool. Thank you for our crack staff for doing that. So now let's move on to less important news. Mika and I were actually at the Queen's funeral, and we both commented on how remarkable London was, a postmodern society, and it really was. London just showed its best to the world. I'm sure you're hoping the same thing happens tomorrow. Tell us what we might see.
Well, I'm joining you on top of the Shakespeare's Globe by the River Thames in London. We spent the last few weeks getting ready for the most important day in our nation's history for decades. And you've got to remember, Joe, that we have a monarch, in many people's eyes old-fashioned, but he's going to celebrate the diversity of our great country. He is supposed to be the defender of the faith, but he's going to show himself to be the defender of the faiths. And so we have a Prime Minister who is a proud British Prime Minister, but a Hindu. We have, of course, myself, a proud British person of Islamic faith, and our King, a proud Christian, being defender of all the faiths. And you're going to have pomp and pageantry you've never seen before, but also a solemn religious ceremony as well. And the great news is the First Lady is now in town, and we've got guests from around the world. The First Lady, Prime Ministers, presidents, members of the royal family from across the globe, seeing the best of our city. And our job tomorrow is to make sure we put on the best show possible for our King, our future Queen, but also for you watching on TV.
You know, Gene, we've always taken great pride in America being the melting pot. Yeah. And yet yesterday, more white nationalists who tried to overthrow the government, found guilty of seditious conspiracy. I was really stunned when I went to London, what I saw in that a country that, again, the Queen took over as an ancient empire. She passed along as a postmodern, extraordinarily diverse country and city. And when I was interviewing Bill Clinton last week and Tony Blair about the Good Friday Agreement, they said, look at the Prime Minister of Great Britain, look at the Prime Minister of India, look at the Mayor of London, and look how extraordinarily diverse these countries have become. It really is something that Britain has done, something that America has been struggling with for some time.
You know, the UK has certainly become more diverse. The leadership has become more diverse. London stands out because London really is an incredibly diverse city, more diverse, frankly, than the rest of the UK. I do have a question for Mayor Khan, which is, so it will fall to King Charles to sort of define the role of monarchy in the 21st century. And so this coronation will not be quite as lavish and I don't know, over the top as the last one 70 years ago, but there will still be the golden carriage. There will still be a lot of pomp and circumstance and finery and crowns and everything. Is that has he dialed it back enough, do you think? And will the monarchy, in fact, dial itself back a bit more in order to remain relevant in this century?
Yeah, you raise a really important and a profound point, which is how our monarch evolved as circumstances changes. I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time with King Charles, and he understands that many families are struggling through a cost of living crisis. He understands inflation's at record levels, and he's tried to have, yes, the pomp and pageantry, but respect the challenges families have. So you're spot on. He's, in your words, dialed it down a bit. But listen, we love the pageantry, we love the pomp, we love the fact there's going to be a ceremonial procession leaving Buckingham Palace, going to Westminster Abbey, but on the way back, even bigger, even better, the royal family will be on the balcony of Buckingham Palace. There'll be a flyover, and those are some of the things that we expect to see. But also, he's not gone over the top like he could have done. And by the way, his mother was very similar. His mother took over shortly after we'd had rationing after the Second World War. And the wonderful thing about our former Queen and our current King is they get it, and they understand the rhythm and the pulse of our citizens, their subjects.